Hey, what's going on YouTube? So yeah, I haven't done a video in such a long time. It's not even funny. I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you, because so many things have happened. It's not even funny. Uh, God, where to start? Oh man. So me and Tony, we had to expand the frame, the enduro frame, the so-called the knockoff enduro frame, and I believe we went to as far as 7 inches wide. And there are other videos in my library that you can check out, see how we've done the expansion of the belly. We had to actually do it because the body was way too big. And again, this is China body or from AliExpress, and they claim it's 72 volts at 70 amp hour operational. So how true that is, we're about to find out. Not sure, um, but we had to extend it. So Tony did a bracket support and all that good stuff. So it looks good. Um, we've had other different issues with the motor. We have different issues with Kelly controller. So pretty much of the season, we went through all this crazy troubleshooting where we weren't sure whether it was the battery, whether it was the Kelly, or God knows what. Um, so we changed Kelly. Um, we I lowered the power to 50% on Kelly and down to 50 amps discharge on the battery, which the battery is capable of doing 250 peak and 150 continuous. I just don't think that the batteries are with a good or proper discharge for the BMS. So in other words, BMS can be pushing 300 amps, but if your battery doesn't support the 300 amps, you're pretty much screwed. So it'll deplete fast. Biggest issue, biggest problem was that the battery set was ridiculous. I mean, yes, the battery, the BMS, battery itself, and Kelly was set at very high discharge. At one point, I had 260 amps, and she would literally set 10 volts, which is ridiculous. Now, mind you, this battery was only charged with one cycle. Um, it's a Bluetooth for BMS. It shows fluctuation in between cells. There is a feature of auto balance, which I think I might have used it once. I've noticed that before I had to manually put it on BMS on my application on the cell phone. Now it does it automatically the minute you you plug the battery in. The auto balance goes on, and it balances the battery. So what it does, it jumps from your Siri connections up and down. So I assume it have like 10 cells that is connected. That's one row, and whatever it has to 20s 20s I think 5P if I'm not mistaken. Um, am I happy with the battery? You know I'm not, because I have not got the peak or the best performance out of the battery. I can't judge the battery because I only ran it a couple times as a test run for the power and discharge, and every time we ran it, it would shut down because the sec would be from 84 to literally 60-30 volts, which literally is impossible. So we says, okay, it could be the battery, but let's go ahead and let's change the Kelly. So Tony was nice enough to hook up the Kelly, his Kelly, to my bike, and of course I lowered from originally it was 100%, 70% on the discharge on Kelly, which is anywhere continuous 110 amps and 300 peak, to 70. Was still doing the same thing with less seg, and then now 50, where she segs about 4 volts, which is acceptable. Um, saying that yesterday I actually finally, after all these months, since I believe early September, I have dropped off my bike at Tony's. My intention wasn't to drop the bike off and keep it over there for the entire off-season period, which was the winter. My goal was to see what's going on, and of course, I did that because I received the battery right before the end of the season. Oh, at the end of the season, I might say there were like maybe 2 weeks left of good weather, and that's it. It was getting chilly and cold, and I never had the chance to test out the battery. Um, After I test out the battery, I flipped out because it's like, how could you possibly have 10 amps? I'm sorry, 10 volts of sag? That's literally physically not impossible, but it's just unacceptable. So long story short, right now I have Kelly. Well, yesterday when I came from Tony's, I rode my bike. I had Kelly at 50%. She was very aggressive, um, and I kept that 50 amps at 50% of Kelly, and she was violent. She got it to 50 in a couple of seconds, so that was pleasing to see. And also when I got over here, so I did a couple of test runs at Tony's. I got back over here. I was now 6 volts, which my calculation shows the same discharge like my previous battery from BTR power battery, which from my house to Tony's was about 5 amps, 5 volts down. So I was 6 down. That means I used that 1 volt for that hard pull, or a couple of hard pulls in front of Tony's house. So calculation in regards to math, it calculates the way it's supposed to be. Five to 6 volts, and 1 volt per mile, and that of course that kind of like changes throughout the whole, I guess, week, because I noticed my other battery, which was definitely much better, a different, construction of it. Um, the more I discharged it and the more I charged it, the better performance I was getting at it. I mean, with that battery, I was able to hit 67, and I do have a video if you want to check it out on a highway. So that was really amazing. Um, with this battery, so before the Cali change over Cali, I could not go over 40. The highest speed I got is like 41. I was stuck at 30, 35, which was seriously impossible with a huge battery that is, this battery is 55 pounds, but it discharges at apparently through 250 amps peak and 150 continuous. So that 38, 41 mile an hour concept was completely, baffling my mind of what the heck was going on. It's kind of funny because, well, it's not funny. It's actually sad. But we changed Cali, and automatically the bike went over 51 miles an hour, and it kept going. So thinking, it's Cali, like Tony was saying, but I'm trying to be in denial because Cali, it's good controller. It's expensive controller, and yet I did what I do two seasons or so, about 8,000 miles. I do about 4,000 miles on a good season. Going work back and forth. Um, so I'm hoping that as I continue charging and discharging the battery, these cells are going to balance itself out. I'm looking at the cells right now. They are balancing out. Some of them are at four volts. Some of them are at 3.89. So they're reaching the maximum, which is the 4.20, which is 4.2, and I gotta see what's gonna happen. I got only one cycle in this battery, so I can't bash the battery. Look, it's not a great battery. If you want to compare it to Cha battery, whatever it's called, or powerful lithium battery, those batteries are $3,000-4,000. This battery is 3 times less than what powerful lithium is charging, or Chow battery is charging for Surround Stealth and other aerial riders and Super 73 bikes, all those bikes. So this battery is not in that bracket of total expense. If I was comparing a battery that was 3,000 to 3,000, then I can sit down and I can say this is what it is. But this battery is completely different class. It just can't go with that. But this is what I'm hoping for, because that's what I see or so, on my last battery, the more I charged it, the more I discharged it, the better performance I was getting. She wasn't sluggish. She had great discharge. She, just kept running. I've done, 44 miles, and I had my discharge at 65. This battery, I have it at 63. I'm thinking of going as low as 60, because the battery cells that I'm holding, their cutoff is at 57. I'll never go that low, 57, uh, because I just don't need to unless there's an emergency. I'll lower it just to get to a point B and set it back up at 60, which still 60 is a lot. Now, why am I saying 60 is a lot, meaning too low? For example, Tony, a good friend of mine, he tries to never bring his battery down to 72. Um, and I'm surprised because he has done runs with me, the 40, 45, 44 mile, distance. And, he would be at exactly 72, 73, 74. So his battery is just retarded crazy. It's got somewhat so much juice. But I guess it's a high capacity battery instead of high discharge battery. Me and Tony, we talked about it so many times, of him explaining to me how the cells are. So, you might have Mali cells, but, with a huge discharge of 45 amps, but on each cell. But what is the capacity? You have a great discharge, but how long can you run with it? And, it's funny because there are other YouTubers that have done test runs on Power Lithium, and, they've done 70-mile, 80-mile distance before being almost completely discharged. Mr. ENYC, he's done, I believe, 75 miles. He's last run of Powerful Lithium, and I think he's got the 7250 amps. So now, if you have the 55, obviously you'll get further out. I personally don't know. I watched the video. I don't know. I didn't see him go, exactly 50, 55, 60 miles an hour. The way I conduct my discharge range is pretty much I go full throttle as long as I can, which I pick pretty much Highland Boulevard, Carmel, all the way around. So honestly, you could really have a full throttle for 80% of your run, where you can still probably hit like 55 at certain points. Um, uh, other kilo road, you can still hit 40, 50. A couple of turns you got to slow down, but anything than that, it's kind of useless, because if you're riding 25 miles an hour, that's defeats the point of actually doing a wrench test. So, but yes, lots of things happen. Hopefully I'm back. I'll be shooting more videos. I'll show you guys the bike. Uh, Nice enough. I got the nice comfortable seat. It is a fucking butter. Cross Chris Wires. He has that seat, and apparently he was flipping those seats, which I don't see how is that all excitement about. I mean, look, anybody can get that seat, even though so-called is made in Russia, but China sells it. We weren't having any issues getting the seat. It was fluctuating between 140 and 150. Sorry, 240, 250, 240, $250. So if you're flipping it and it's costing you $240 or even $200, you gotta sell it for 250, 260. But yeah, it's a very comfortable seat. Brakes. I mean, you can see the videos. We've done so much improvement to Tony's bike, and we actually had built the white stealth bomber with motorcycle wheels, rims, nice QS 205 5,000 kilowatts. We've put that in there. Nice Ember light, kind of Baja style light, which he also disagrees. It's not Baja. I'm saying it's got a look of a Baja. It's not the company of Baja, but it looks like one. But anyway, so that handlebars. I actually changed my handlebars. I gave mine to Tony because he likes them better. I did not like him. I'll have mine a little wider. I mean, right now I'm very, very happy with my bike. It feels like a nice motorcycle. It's heavy. Um, praying for the battery. Hopefully it does great. The motor, God, I got an axle from QS Motor for a couple of dollars, and I will change it due to the fact that, of course, I had e-brake, which is a region connected, and it was at one point it was 100%. So what it is, it just twisted the axle, and it was a clusterfuck. It was just really really bad. So now you got the new frame and new dropouts. They were obviously nice. They were not warped, so that axle didn't fit. So originally, what I did, I changed the axle. Uh, it was just, oh my god, it was so much work. But yes, everything right now is working. Got to do a little solder job here and there. I mean, Tony worked so much on this bike, and definitely appreciate the help. Actually, we work kind of good. We understand each other. He's got views that he shares, and I got views that I share. We don't always agree on all the aspects and ideas, but at the end of the day, we come to a conclusion that, yeah, it's a possibility, just like it's a possibility with Kelly. It seems like Kelly pooped out and wasn't even giving out the juice that it was necessary for the Kelly to do, and the bike was sluggish, and then there's a question of the battery, there's a question of the motor, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Uh, Everything is yet to be, discovered. We are ahead of our season, so we'll see how that's going to go. I again will do a couple of tweaks here and there. The bike came out great. The frame came out great. The panels came out great. Great idea from Tony. We tapped the holes now. The Allen screws go very nicely and easily with fingers. The whole bike is just a beauty to look at. It feels great. It runs great. It's quiet. Doesn't make any noise. That's the way you want it. So my goal this season is to ride the bike. Of course, wifey, hopefully she'll allow me to go for those nice long runs. I usually go with Tony late at night, less traffic, less issues, less problems. And regardless, we're still being extremely careful because every season we see, bikers getting injured, especially electric bikes. And since now the law of electric bikes became a little bit tougher and has more strict rules, regulations in regards to batteries and things like that, the city's trying to help out where you can charge the batteries. Now they have like charging ports where kind of like a luggage. You open the lock, you put your battery in to charge it, and you take out batteries already charged. So it takes 2 seconds. Not good how good that pilot program is, how it's going to work, but there are also stationary chargers like for the city bikes that apparently the delivery guys will be able to use. I just don't see myself leaving my bike unsecured and taking out my freaking rear wheel drive or rear hub, QS motor. I have the QS 205. You get the 273, and that's a beast. And that thing goes for 1,000, if not over. So it's not like you want to leave your couple $1,000 bike outside for God knows who to take, because we obviously know that even though everybody's bullshitting and every politician is bullshitting and trying to put smoke up our asses, the crime is retarded. The whole statistics is out of the window. These statistics are probably from last year or right before COVID or right during the COVID, which nothing was happening and everyone was paying or getting paid. I mean, obviously, what did we think, that the entire country is going to pay every American sitting home for 2 years and we are not going to get hit with charges? Yeah, we've got congestion charges, tolls going up, gas going, everything's going up. So yeah, we're paying back. Anyhow, I'm going to finish this video. It's 20 minutes. I hope you made it this far. If you liked it, comment down below, give it a thumb up, like it, subscribe, share, do all you can do. Hopefully I'll be more active. Season is coming, so hopefully we can get this going and move forward and enjoy the season. Until then, folks, please enjoy your season and ride safe. Take care.